Hi to all 5 of my friends that are going to watch this video. Do I have more than 5 friends? Hi, I'm Emma, and like many other people in the world, I've been trapped in lockdown for the past a long time. So apart from spending 700 hours in Animal Crossing, I have rediscovered my love for anime, like the true weeaboo I was born to be. I've actually been watching anime for about coming up on 10 years now. As the years went on, I had less and less time to be watching anime because I had real responsibilities. But now that the government cancelled my exams, I thought, let's spend this time doing something valuable. Watch a lot of anime. So I spent my lockdown catching up with series that I always knew I needed to watch but never did, and keeping up with some new series. So basically in this video I wanted to talk about some of the series that I've seen and what I think of them, because I have some opinions. So let's get right into it. So one of the first anime that I actually watched in quarantine was Serial Experiments Lain. If you're quite into anime, you'll probably have heard the name Serial Experiments Lain. It's only a short series coming in at around 12 or 13 episodes, I think, but it feels like a lot more than that, but not in a bad way. Usually for someone who's getting into anime, I would recommend a shorter series that's 12 or 13 episodes, but I would not say that Serial Experiments Lain is a series that you can recommend to someone who's just getting into anime, because it is so heavy with its themes and its plot and just everything that happens in it. It's obviously I'm not going to get into spoilers because watch it. Serial Experiments Lain is about a girl called Lain who doesn't really have an interest in technology but slowly becomes interested as this concept, this new technology called the Wired is brought about. It's a platform where people can go online and sort of be a different person or live their life on the internet, which is wild because the internet wasn't really a thing in like 1998 when this was made. Anyway, this series is mind-bending. It's very complex and it fits a lot into the 13 episodes. There's a lot of anime from sort of the 90s and around that time that now just seem dated and like not very many people watch them, but Serial Experiments Lain continues to be relevant, and I would say is more relevant now than it probably was back then. Although I wouldn't recommend it to someone who's just starting anime. If you've seen quite a few anime and want to get into something darker, maybe a bit more gritty or something a bit more complex, this is definitely something that you might want to look into. Now, onto one of my favourite anime that I watched in quarantine, Death Parade. I love Death Parade. Like, people say that Death Parade is underrated. And Death Parade is underrated. You should go and watch Death Parade. It is almost an anthology series. You could probably watch some episodes of Death Parade without even having to know the plot, because the plot of Death Parade almost takes a back seat. We get to see how the human brain functions in high pressure situations that are actually life or death. So in Death Parade, 2 people who have recently died play a game to decide whether they will be reincarnated or just be poof into nothing. So it's beautifully animated. It has such an interesting setting, and I think the main sort of 2 characters were really interesting to watch them interact with each other and sort of learn more about each other. The only thing that I complain about with Death Parade is I think some characters were introduced and sort of cast aside just as quickly because of these constraints, but it didn't stop the anime from having such a gripping story and plot. And this next one, an exciting one, because recently season 2 got announced. The Promised Neverland. I went into this one completely blind. It's not normal that I go into a series completely blind because I've usually heard something about it on the internet. But for this series, I just sort of heard it's good, it's about orphans, and that's all I knew. And I would recommend to everyone else to just go in with that. I wouldn't recommend that you look up anything about this anime, just watch it. It's only short, easy to binge in one day. I loved it. I feel like I'm gonna get some people angry with this next one. Devilman Crybaby. Devilman Crybaby. Baby Cry Devil. Man. Cry Devil Baby. Devilman Crybaby. If you've been on the internet at any point in the past 2 years, you will have heard of Devilman Crybaby, the Netflix original anime series, I would say probably the biggest Netflix original anime series that has come out. It's only 10 episodes long, which is a bit strange considering it's an anime series, but it is all over the internet all the time. But somehow I avoided spoilers for the past 2 years, which is sort of a miracle considering no one will shut up about this series. And for good reason in some aspects, because the art and the themes and the symbolism in this series are so carefully crafted and well done. In some ways I can understand how people can get so attached to these characters and be so emotional about this series, but personally I didn't get that. Oh, I feel like pitchforks are gonna come and they're gonna get me and put my head on a spike. Devilman Crybaby, in my opinion, would have benefited from the next sort of 2 episodes that a typical anime series would have. I feel like I would become more attached to the characters if I had another 2 episodes to just add on to everything that was going on. Even just another 1 episode, because unlike a lot of other people, I feel like the ending was a bit fast. Okay, I'm gonna do a little spoiler warning. I'll put it somewhere and I'll put a time that you can just skip to. But I personally think that the ending of Devilman Crybaby was quite rushed. And although I know that the end of the world is probably, it'd be quite fast, like we all know it'd be quite fast, the sort of sudden jump cut from fighting in the air to half a dead body on the ground was a bit like, for me, I don't know, I feel like we didn't get a deep dive into the relationship between Akira and Ryo, and the ending would have been more emotional if the end scene was maybe prolonged a bit, or we got a little bit more of them together. So I feel like the ending was a bit rushed. However, it's still a good anime. I would definitely recommend it. I just think that maybe the hype on social media hyped it up too much for me personally, so I wasn't able to enjoy it as much because maybe my expectations were set too high for it. But I recommend watching it because it is a really, really good anime with some amazing visuals, amazing symbolism, just the way that things are written into the anime, even sort of the raps and things that happen throughout give such a good social commentary and context on the things that are happening in the anime. I would love to say that I loved it and it's one of my favourite series, but I didn't get the same feeling as my friends got and other people seem to have gotten from this anime, so take from that what you will. The last series I'm going to talk about is an anime I said that I would never watch. The fairy anime, Beastars. I never was interested in Beastars when it first came out because I was like, it's the fairy anime, and there was so many internet jokes, internet memes about this is the fairy anime, haha, fairy. But one of my friends actually watched it and she loved it, and I was like, my friend's not a fairy, maybe I should give this a go. And now I'm a fairy. No, but in all truth, Beastars is not what I was expecting at all. I thought it would be sort of a comedy, slice of life, school series with animals in a school. It wasn't. It wasn't. and I loved it. It is such a fresh concept from the story and the plot to the way that it's animated. It is something so different and fresh to the scene, and I think it's amazing. But the ending annoyed me. I feel like the ending of like every show just annoys me. I'm just like, I think the ending only annoyed me because I wanted more. I love learning about this almost fantasy world of animals where animals are pitted against each other in sort of a survival tree. And although it can get dark at times, like it can definitely get pretty dark, which I was not expecting from Beastars, but it balances that out enough with sort of happy moments and comedy that it is genuinely, even though it has some really like harsh moments, it is almost a feel good show. And the only reason that I'm angry at the ending is because I want more already. So yeah, if you hate my opinions, let me know. If you liked my opinions, let me know. This is my first YouTube video, so I feel just really awkward about this whole thing. Please don't bully me. Probably only my friends are gonna watch this. I'm sorry. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. God. Bye.